30 amp RV outlet, 410 outlets, USBs, 12 volt with 2048 watts. This is the Bluetti AC 200 Max. I chose this unit, the Bluetti AC 200 Max, because it just fits right under my inverter. It has the 30 amp RV outlet along with some 110 outlets, and it can be charged 110, and I've got a system that'll charge it from the car, so I don't use a solar panel. I'll hook this up and show you how it works. All right, well, let me get this thing around here where I can get things plugged into it. Of course, it says 100%. It's been sitting for months and still has 100% charge. The good thing about having the Bluetti like this is a temporary electrical supply is that I can take it out of the trailer, put it in the house. If I have a power outage, it'll run the refrigerator for several hours. And I've also wired up the gas furnace that I have so that I can run it, the Bluetti will run it. Now, I tested it one winter day for 24 hours. This thing will run the furnace for 3 days. If I turn the thermostat down, it'll probably last about 4 days. Now, a lot of people, they put solar panels on the roof, they rewire the trailer, get a bigger inverter, things like that. A lot of that is a lot of money, and it's permanent. It stays in the trailer. This one here is not permanent. If I decide to get another trailer, I can take this out and use it in the next trailer. In order to power the trailer, everything in it's automatic. As soon as I plug into a pedestal, it knows and understands there's 110 volts. The outlets are powered by it. The microwave runs, the air conditioner runs, all that works. So what I want to do, instead of wiring this into the trailer, I'm going to use the 30 amp outlet, come through this little portal that I put in the bottom of the floor here, run it back to the inlet, the AC 30 amp inlet right there, and this is going to run my trailer. Well, I use the hooks right here to keep the cable off the ground. I want to reduce the possibility of any rodents climbing up, mice, rats, whatever, climbing up the cable and getting inside. And what I do here on this portal, I've made some openings in this part right here so that covers it, and it closes up around those cables, and that keeps animals out also. Let me get, hang on. We're inside the...
No, you didn't tell me to start or anything.
Okay, all right. Hey, I'm new at this. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, we're inside the trailer. I have the Bluetti installed. It's wired up to the 30 amp inlet outside. And I'm going to turn the power on, AC power out, right here, using the Bluetti app. I don't have to go back down in the garage to do that. So now it's showing a 46 watt usage. That's up to 53. That's probably just topping off the battery right now. So we're going to turn the air conditioner on, and this air conditioner will not run long, about 40 minutes, and then it's used up all the power in the Bluetti. But if you don't use the air conditioner, the Bluetti will last for days. Just turn the air conditioner on. And now this is a 15,000 BTU air conditioner, and I installed a soft start on it to make sure that it runs. Right now it's pulling 1,200 watts, 1.2 kilowatts. And Bluetti has a 2,000 watt and a 4,000 watt surge, so it handles it with no problem. This way I can hook it up I can check, make sure that everything looks good here at the house. I'm not going to get a surprise when I get out to the campground and find out something doesn't work. We'll let that run for a few minutes. Everything else in here will work. The 110 outlets, lights, everything. Now, if it's not plugged in, it will, they'll run on 12 volts. They're all LED. Now this refrigerator is 110, 12, and gas. And what I like to do is when I'm getting ready to go camping, I like to turn it on 110 and let it pre-cool the refrigerator, and then we'll load the food in it, and I can leave it that way overnight. So we're going to turn this on at 110. Now if I ran a cable from the house out here, it will not run this air conditioner. I mean the refrigerator. And as far as the air conditioner goes, it'll start it, but the first time it cycles off, it trips a breaker. But with the Bluetti in between, that doesn't happen. So put it on electric. And it started. And we're pulling 338 watts from the refrigerator. So like I say, if I'm not running the air conditioner, this will run just about everything in here. It will also run the microwave. This is a 1200 watt microwave, and it will run that. But I have to maybe turn the refrigerator on gas if I want to do some of this stuff. I don't want to overload it. Now when I'm at home and I'm getting ready for travel, I've got the Bluetti set up like this. It's pre-cooling the refrigerator, and I can plug this in. This is the charger for the Bluetti. This will charge 500 watts an hour. We'll check the app. All right, right now we're getting 459 watts coming in. We've got 332 watts going out because the refrigerator's still on. So using this, I can run the 110 on the refrigerator, keep the food cold all night long until just before I leave. Another thing about this too is, if you pull up to a campsite and the 30 amp is not good, it's broken or something like this, you can plug in like this, like I have it right here at the house, and charge the Bluetti and let that run everything except the air conditioner in the trailer. This is also a great hookup. It'll be just like this if you're mooch camping. You're over at some friend's house or something, you've gone to visit and you've got your trailer with you and you're in the driveway. Hook it up to 110. And the thing about this 500 watts is you're only pulling about 5 amps, actually a little less than 5 amps. So you don't have to have a great big extension cord, great big heavy thick one. This one here will do just fine. When I'm traveling and I'm boondocking, or I'm on dispersed land like BLM, and I'm using Bluetti, in order to charge it between campsites, I've made this. I use the Victron Orion 12 to 24 volt DC to DC converter. I use this one because the Bluetti, if you charge it from the 12 volt outlet in the car, it will only give it a 100 watt charge. It understands 12 volts is coming from the car and it doesn't want to overdo it. But by changing it to 24 volts, I'm tricking the Bluetti into thinking it's hooked up to solar. And that's why it opens up to about 400 watts, about 4 times faster. I fixed this one up myself. I've got a good on-off switch, and I have a backup right here. Now this is an energized cable right here when the car is running, and that allows this to come on. If I turn the key off, this will automatically turn the converter off so I don't run the battery down on the car. And then I have my on-off switch. That's an Anderson connector. I use those. They're very high quality, and when you snap them together, I haven't had one come apart yet. And this is all set up to carry 20 amps. And by changing that to 24 volts instead of 12, I don't have to run big heavy jumper cable type cables back to the trailer from the Jeep. I only need to run I have 6 gauge on here right now, and it's been working great. It's a little lighter, it's more flexible, and it's easier to work with. Okay, I put it on legs like this. So if I put it in here, I can put it all across the hump in the middle. Sitting here like this. The red connector goes to the battery. I've hooked up a cable for that. This goes underneath the seat and then through a grommet in the back here to come out down the bottom. Come on. There we go. So I've installed the connector there. You can see the cable running around. On the inside, I've hooked up to my solar panel inlet input. So if I start the car, we'll check, make sure everything's running. There we go. From the solar panel right now, we're getting 269 watts. Now that's not the 400 that I get a lot of times, but I think that's because we're at 96%. And the closer it gets to full, the more it starts cutting back on the charge. So we're getting 269 watts from the alternator to charge the Bluetti while I'm driving. And when it's down around 30 or 40%, it charges about 400 watts. Truth is, I drive about 5 hours. I can take a dead Bluetti all the way to full. 2,000 watts. I want to thank Tinkerer's Adventure YouTube channel for giving me the idea to do this. Also, he did it for an FJ Cruiser. I scaled it up to do the trailer. But now the manufacturers of these power stations are now producing the converter and the chargers that work off the car like I built. So you can buy that already made. It's a much simpler wiring technique than what I had to go through. This is how I charge my Bluetti. I keep my battery charged on my trailer. I don't have to put additional solar panels on the roof. I don't have to carry a generator or a can of gas. It's very easy, a lot more convenient.